Welcome back. I'm Michelangelo Signorile on AlQ, Sirius 109, XM 98. We saw the reports in recent weeks, an example of the brutality, the sheer brutality of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law. Joe Rodriguez said that last June he went out for drinks and dancing at a gay club in Hillcrest in San Diego. He was drugged, kidnapped, and taken to a hotel room. He, of course, a Navy seaman, gay in the military, sexually assaulted by a group of men in that hotel room after he was drugged, kidnapped, taken there, left for dead, and the last thing he remembers was being at the nightclub. But after he went to the hospital, someone, a sailor, found out what happened, told his commander, told his captain. Soon the entire ship knew. He was harassed by his shipmates, had his duties reduced, transferred, he said, from the ship until his discharge, thrown out under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law after a crime was committed against him. That sailor, apparently the Navy says, was reprimanded. But Joe Rodriguez, thrown out, discharged. He joins me now to talk about it. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Mike, and thank you for having me on the show.
Take us back to June. What happened to you in that San Diego nightclub? You went out. Were you with anybody else? You just decided you wanted to go out to a bar and meet people?
Well, as a matter of fact, I went out that evening with another female sailor. She wanted to go to the Hillcrest area. I was surprised.
Hillcrest is the gay neighborhood in San Diego.
Yes, it's a gay neighborhood in San Diego, and I went ahead and took her out to Moe's Bar and Grill. We had dinner. She received a call from a friend who invited us over to Rich's nightclub. It was pretty late already after dinner. We went there, we had a drink, and a second one was offered to me. I took it.
When you say it was offered to you, who offered it to you?
It was a group of men. It was 4 guys that the female sailor had met there at the nightclub. She had just met him.
Did they know you were a sailor? Were you were in civilian clothes?
So
or
they
no?
assumed I was.
Okay.
And I did, of course, have the military cut.
Mm-hmm.
I did accept that drink. They had called last call. They were saying, hey, chug the drink, chug the drink.
Now, this was a gay club, so you're assuming they were gay?
Yes.
Okay.
I do assume some of them were also military, due to also judging them by their military cuts as well.
Okay, but you assume they were gay. They seem to be hanging out like a bunch of gay guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And they made conversation with her. They tried to make conversation with me. Of course, me being very humble, I said, hi, how are you? And, of course, I didn't want to reject their drink, their offer. I did take their drink. Before I know it, it was like I went into a cold sleep. I felt like if I went to sleep on a Friday night and woke up on a Saturday morning, before I knew it, I woke up and I was being wakened by a hotel clerk. I was still blacked out. I couldn't see what was going on. I crawled into the shower. I felt the burns in my body, the bruises. It was horrible. I couldn't realize where I was at. I did pop on the TV and it said Monday, and it was noon.
And this had been on Saturday night?
And this happened actually Friday night. And
Friday night.
I woke up on the Monday. I was taken to a hospital by a taxi cab driver. When I arrived at this hospital, it turns out that I was suffering from amnesia. They had to call in a sexual assault represent person to go in there and speak for me. And they didn't let no one into the room because I still didn't know who I was, what I was doing, what had happened. I was still confused about the days and me not knowing that where did Saturday and Sunday go?
I want to back up a little bit and come back to when you're at the hospital. When you had taken this drink, how long was it before you blacked out? Did it
Mike, it had to have been instantly because, like I said, they had called last call at this club. At Rich's nightclub.
And where had your friend gone? Had she left already?
All I could remember is me waving by at her, and I did not understand why she was waving by at me. But she did report to the ship Monday when they realized I wasn't at quarters at 8 a.m. She did report that she did receive calls throughout the weekend. She got concerned because they were coming from my cell phone. All she could hear was deep breathing. she got concerned. She went to my room. Sunday, she finally figured out a way to get into my room. My room was still set up as if it was left on Friday night. Her flat iron was laying in the ground. The TV was still running the same show. She reported to the command that all she remembered was meeting a group of guys, introducing them to me, and them offering me a drink, and all she said was me waving by at her. She didn't understand, but she thought, hey, these were friendly guys I met.
She thought you wanted to hang out with these guys.
That's what she thought, so she was waving by, but then she also reported to the command, this is not very much like him. Y'all should all know. This guy makes sure that when he takes someone out, he brings them back to the command, he takes a cab, he makes sure, especially with the female, the way I did it, and that's how I got, people knew me in the ship. When they went out with me, I made sure they got back to the ship. Especially by bringing them to a gay area.
You wouldn't have left her.
Of course not, because she was a straight female, and I've taken several straight females to that area, and I have to make sure that they come back. I want them to actually go out to the gay community and see this is what it's like.
So while you're in that room unconscious and it's Sunday, she's already gotten into your room back on the ship?
Yeah, she's gone back into my room at TPU San Diego. It's a barracks room. She went in. She went around, talked to another sailor to let her into my room, and she sees that everything's still set the same. So Monday, they got concerned, and a lot of people knew that I was going out with this female. They questioned her. Where's Seaman Jose Rodriguez? Where is he at? And she's like, and that's when she finally had to make.
Did she tell them you were at a gay bar?
She told them that me and her went to a club in Riches. She didn't know how they would react. She didn't want to say it was a gay area, but San Diego knows the Riches for being in Hillcrest, and Hillcrest being the gay area in San Diego.
Right. So they knew then it was a gay bar.
Yes.
Now, and she told them you left with a crowd of guys.
Yes, that basically I had taken it. What she reported is that I didn't have much to drink. She did not understand that I left with a group of guys. She thought I would be okay. But when she started getting strange phone calls in the middle of the night, she started getting concerned.
Now,
go ahead.
She was getting phone calls from your cell phone.
Yes, and all she could hear in those cell phone calls were deep breathing.
And when was this?
She was getting calls where she reported about 3 in the morning.
That night.
6 a.m., and nobody would say nothing.
That night, Friday, though, when you were...
throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah. And so where was the hotel? How far from the bar?
That's what we don't know. Basically, when I woke up, I was so scared. I was still blacked out. I still didn't know where I was at. I ran out into the middle of the street. People just thought that I was a drunk running out into the middle of the street. Cars were going around me. Taxi cab pulled over and took me straight to the hospital because he realized something was wrong. As soon as I jumped into that taxi cab, I lay down and I told him something is not right. I need a doctor.
Did you know when you were in the hotel room, you woke up, obviously you're still groggy. Did you know that you had been sexually assaulted?
Yes. When I, like I was stating, I crawled into that shower and I felt the burns in my body. I was blacked out. The burns in my private areas were burning. Blood was dripping down my leg. I was very weak. I felt my body swollen. Like it was just, I still see it as of this moment.
So you went to the hospital, and what happened there?
At the hospital, they went through my wallet. They saw I was military. I told them, please don't state anything to nobody. I'm glad I'm here at a civilian hospital. Please keep my records confidential. I want to report everything I can so you can help me.
Did you tell them that, look, I woke up in this hotel room and I don't know what happened?
Yes, they took the report down in my medical records that I went out. I read over my records, and it did state that, hey, he went out to this club.